everything is fair in love and war. Even dropping nukes on your rivals or slicing wrist in the name of your lover seem justifiable. But we are not here to slice our wrist because that would be too graphic. We are here to talk about a nuke that was recently dropped in the Indian motorcycling scenario, the Triumph Speed 400. This is Anand Pandey, you're watching BBC Top Gear Mag India, and this is the first ride review of the Triumph Speed 400. And the reason why I'm calling it a nuke is because this is a Triumph through and through, with sublime build quality, premium cycle parts, and it also promises an enthralling ride experience, and that too at just 2.33 lakh. To put things into perspective, the Speed 400, it is only 15,000 more premium as compared to the classic 350's top-end variant. And when you compare both these motorcycles from a strictly engineering perspective, the Speed 400 is light years ahead of the classic 350. But this is not a comparison review, so we should just zoom out a little and see how the Speed 400 is like to ride as an individual motorcycle. And when you take a good look at it, the term gorgeous comes to mind. And trust me when I say this, it is not just the weather that is awakening the romantic in me, it is the motorcycle. Because the Speed 400, it is one gorgeous motorcycle to look at. It is this fusion of modern elements with retro flair that make new retro motorcycles like the Speed 400 look so pleasing to the eyes. And when you take a good look at the overall silhouette of the motorcycle, it will instantly remind you of the Speed 2900 and the Speed 1200. And to me, that isn't a bad thing at all, because those are some of the most beautiful motorcycles to roll out of Triumph's factory till date. Another highlight of the Speed 400 is that it has stuck very close to Triumph's lineage when it comes to the overall fit and finish of the motorcycle, as well as when it comes to the attention to detail.
The Speed 400 reeks of premiumness and looks muscular when you look at it head-on. The round LED headlamp also has a nice Triumph logo embedded within. Move further down and you're greeted with 43mm big piston UHD forks which are gold finished, further adding to its premium quotient. The bar and mirrors might not be the best in the market in terms of visibility, but they do add some visual essence to the motorcycle. The teardrop shaped fuel tank with knee recesses, triangular engine cover with Triumph's logo, and brushed aluminum finish on the fake fins are typical Triumph design elements. The rear end too is rather minimalistic with sleek LED indicators. However, grab rails design could have been slightly better because it does look a little commuterish. That being said, the attention to detail in a true Triumph fashion is worth admiring. The Speed 400 doesn't get a whole host of tech-laden features, as it makes do with a semi-digital instrument cluster that has an analog speedometer. Although the console is loaded with important information like 2 trip meters, distance to empty, average and instant fuel economy, it does lose out on Bluetooth connectivity, which according to today's standards can be considered as a major miss. Moreover, in terms of overall layout, I wish the analog treatment was reserved for tachometer instead of speedometer. In terms of electronics, the Speed 400 comes with traction control which cannot be switched off.
So when Triumph first revealed the specifications of the Speed 400's engine, rumors were afloat in the air, suggesting that it is the same powertrain that is used in the KTM Duke 390 and the Bajaj Dominar. But no, that is not the case. Triumph is claiming that they have built this engine from ground up. This engine is known as the new TR series. So this is a 398cc liquid-cooled 4-valve engine that puts down 40 PS at 8,000 RPM and 37.5 Nm at 6,500 RPM. Now, I myself can attest to the fact that this feels very different as compared to the KTM Duke 390 or Dominar for that matter. Not very, but yes, the character of the engine, it differs very much. While the Duke lurches ahead during commutes that it ate something suspicious during the breakfast, that is not the case with the Speed 400, as the fuel delivery is linear, progressive, and the same goes for the performance curve as well.
It is evident that the prime focus here is on low and mid-range grunt, but it doesn't mean that the Speed 400 has a rather flat top end. It feels lively and peppy, and the fuel delivery courtesy of ride-by-wire leaves nothing to complain about. It is powered by a high-capacity single-cylinder engine, and as an evident fact, there are some vibrations to be felt, but they only become more noticeable once you cross 7,000 RPM mark on the tachometer. The peppy nature of the engine makes the Speed 400 meet its 9,500 RPM red line in every gear without any constraint. Now that being said, mid-range grunt is the star of the show here as it pulls you back after crossing 3000 RPM. The Speed 400 has all the makings of becoming a good tourer motorcycle as well because it can cruise at 115 km per hour all day long without any fuss. The top speed which I saw on the speedometer was around 165 km an hour. Tractability is another highlight here because the engine can trundle along at 30 km per hour in 4th gear itself, something that the KTM Duke 390 fails to do so. Heat dissipation also felt quite manageable for a big capacity single cylinder motorcycle, and the gearbox too left nothing to complain about with its slick and precise shifts.
Now talking about the ergonomics of the Speed 400, the seat height stands at a very comfortable 790mm, and as you can very well see, I'm 5'8" for your reference and I can plant both of my feet on the ground pretty comfortably. Now talking about the rider's triangle, this mimics that of a typical naked roadster. So you get a very wide handlebar that provides very good leverage when you're maneuvering through tight corners and when you're manhandling the motorcycle in tight parking lots as well. And the foot pegs, they aren't too forward set, neither too rear set. They are just in a very comfortable position. But when you wish to go in the attack mode,
Riding stance.
it also supports you fairly well. So yes, this is a very good compromise between being slightly aggressive and being comfortable for those long highway hauls. What will also add some much needed brownie points to your overall ride experience is that exhaust note. Now do let us know in the comment section below that whether you prefer the Speed 400's exhaust note or X440's. I know it is not an out-and-out comparison, but the whole world is doing that. So let us know in the comment section below that whether you'll prefer the deep and throaty exhaust note of the Speed 400 or the thump of the X440.
Robust, grunty and agile. That is how the Speed 400 feels out on the road. We also had a chance to belt the Speed 400 around Bajaj Auto's Chakan test track for a few hot laps, and they did reveal the characteristic of the motorcycle. It is a roadster, not a naked street fighter. Although it handled around bends with sublime grace, the suspension setup turned out to be a little supple for corner carving. But this is something which proved to be a boon when we hit the streets. The 43mm USD forks up front and 10-step adjustable monoshock at the back do a fantastic job of ironing out undulations on the road. And despite the suppleness, if you wish to attack some twisties, the hybrid spine frame supports that too really well. The bike that we had with us came shot with Apollo Alpha H1 tires at both the ends, and they performed superbly, despite the surface not being exactly traction friendly at times. Even the braking performance on offer didn't disappoint as the brakes felt powerful and progressive at the same time. Like I mentioned, there's a sense of robustness that can be felt while riding the Speed 400. And if you couple that with able riding dynamics, you have the making of a very good roadster motorcycle, which can also handle really well around corners.
It won't be long before we start seeing the after effects of this particular nuclear bomb. Because as far as its price bracket is considered, its rivals are already smoked to ashes. It is seriously hard to find a fault in a motorcycle which is a byproduct of engineering prowess of Hinckley and Chakan combined, and that is exactly the case with the Speed 400. And it is not just because of the triumph badge that it proudly carries on the fuel tank, it is because of how good this motorcycle is. I'll let you in on a little secret. I've already started planning a heist for when the Scrambler 400X comes here. I'm going to claim one for myself. And the Speed 400 is one of the major reasons behind it, because this motorcycle has set the context just right. This is all, folks. We hope that you like this video and we hope that you watched this video till the end. This is Anand Pandey from BBC Top Gear Mag India signing off. I'll see you around, and before I do that, claim the Speed 400 at this price point while you still can.